Here's a let's call it a drill or a coaching. I'll call it that, a coaching. When the next time you get into a situation and you write down, or you take the excuses and the reasons that you come up with, look at them, and then figure out how those things were actually your fault, and or how you could have prevented them. Because a lot of times it's like, here's one. Hey boss, we didn't get the mission accomplished because the weather rolled in and we couldn't launch on the mission. That's the problem. Now, we all know that we don't control the weather. So you write the problem down. We failed the mission because we didn't control the weather. We can't control the weather. That's why we failed the mission. That's my excuse. That's a logical reason. That's a legitimate excuse. But don't use it. What you do is you say, what could I have done to have controlled the weather? Okay, wait. I can't control the weather. What could I have done? I could have come up with a contingency plan. We could have staged in a better place. So then you go to the boss and you say, look, boss, here's what happened. The weather went south really bad. That was a problem, but it's a problem that I should have done a better job taking care of. What I should have done was I should have had a contingency plan. I should have staged closer to the target area, that I could have taken vehicles instead of helicopters. That's my fault. From now on, I will absolutely have a secondary plan. This won't happen again. We can't control the weather, but we can control how we plan and how we execute, and this won't happen again. There you go. So you take the most outrageous thing that you know you can't control, you figure out a way to control it, and you take ownership of that thing, and it's gonna make your life so much better. And by the way, the next time you have a mission and you plan that contingency and you actually execute and implement what you said you're going to do, guess what? You will accomplish the mission. Yeah. There's a whole part of ownership that preempts the problem. If you've got someone that knows, if I know that I can make an excuse, then guess what? I'm not going to set things up properly. Yeah. If I don't set things up properly, more often than the other way, I will fail to execute what I'm supposed to execute. If you have an excuse ready, same thing with you as an individual human being. If you got some excuses that you can throw out there, that you can say, I had no control over that, then you know what? You say, okay, what are my contingency plans? What could I have planned differently? Let's eliminate those excuses. Take ownership of your freaking life.
Yeah. And in that situation too, when you're talking about this example of the weather, and if you as a leader actually accept the excuse, like, hey boss, that storm rolled in and just crushed us, and you're like, yeah, out of your control, there's no way we could have solved for this problem, it's unsolvable. What if you just guaranteed it will happen every single time the weather rolls in? Yeah. You set that in stone, it will never be different. The weather will crush you every single time. Or you could go, I don't know, look at your weather app and go, we got to go 6 hours early and stage, and we're going to walk in. And it works both ways. And if you accept those excuses, you're now getting like, that's a free pass for here on out. The weather is actually something we can't control, so that is now something that is okay why we fail. I understand that it's hard. I know that feeling. But when you see it get to the other side and you see people do it, like, oh, dude.